Good morning, vinyl community, and welcome back to Just Keep Spinning, where we talk everything music. If you're new to my channel, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. Turn on the notification bell so you know when I have put up new content for you, as I'm very sporadic at this. So as the name implies in the title, Needle Drop, a Holy Grail, and the Layne Staley connection, I want to take you on a bit of a journey concerning one particular Holy Grail that arrived in my mail 3 days ago. I knew it was coming, but it was surreal. It was almost as if I just couldn't believe it was happening. And I don't know if you've had albums like that, but I sure as shit did this week. Um, Before I show you the album, I want to give a shout out to the two members in the group Needle Drop that gifted this to me, Zach Metzger and his wife Heidi Metzger. I am humbled, and I can't say thank you enough for your kindness and your love and your dedication to gifting music and feeding the human soul. You two are amazing, man. And for you who are wondering if you're not aware of Needle Drop, um, Needle Drop is a group on Facebook. We talk vinyl and music. We share our passion and our love for music. And man, Zach and Heidi have fed my musical love over and over. Now, they're just two of the most amazing people in the world. But the other person I need to thank is Miss Lisa Campos. She had posted this album while on a trip to go and see Pearl Jam. And without that conversation, this whole thing may not even be happening. So without further ado, this is Mother Love Bone Apple. I can't say enough about this album. It's tragic that Andy died at such a young age, and this was what we got. But thank God for this album. This came out in 1990, and I was 20 years old. I was just this kid, man. And this album changed my life, really. It was an introduction to a new genre, because up until this point, I was big into going into the Bay Area and seeing bands like Green Day, Pansy Division, Operation Ivy. I was getting into this punk thing for me. And I was also listening to ska and reggae, and I was listening to a lot of different stuff, but no music really cemented to me or really created a connection point like that album. So thank you again, Zach and Heidi. I don't even know how to thank you enough. There are no words that can convey this. So let me take you back in time. I was 18 years old when I moved to California from Maine, and Maine's not a, landmass show or a decent sized state, but we don't have a lot of people, and I moved to San Jose, and God, you might as well have put me on Mars. It was so different, and I didn't know anybody, and I was trying to cut my teeth and figure out who I was, like every other 18-year-old. Fast forward a hair to, I think it was in the fall of 89, somewhere in there. The dates elude me. It was a long time ago. I cruised on down to Santa Cruz, and I went to the Cavern to go see the Screaming Trees. They were promoting their album Buzz Factory. And for any of you who have ever been to the Cavern or from California, it's not a huge place. Back in the day, it was kind of a shitty little dive. That's where I met Layne Staley. Now, granted, Layne wasn't the big rock star on stage. He wasn't a rock god. He wasn't all over your TV screens, radios. People didn't know him. They hadn't even cut their first album yet. Facelift started recording in December of 89 and dropped in July of 1990. So, Layne's just a guy in a club. And trying to find a place to hang out that night, I hung out with Layne. And we connected almost immediately over music. And he was a really passionate music fanatic. I think some people go to therapy, some people go to church. And then there are those of us, we connect with music. And Layne was that guy. So over time, Layne and I stayed in touch via phone, and we talked on a regular basis. And so, fast forward again into 1990, while they're in the studio recording, Layne starts just shoving Mother Love Bone, Mother Love Bone. Well, they hadn't dropped anything either. There were crappy bootleg recordings from showcases, and Layne just pushed them on me and pushed them on me. And I had a busy lifestyle. I didn't have really any time, which I think really annoyed him. So July comes and I get this package in the mail, and I got a copy of Facelift. And man, that album's dope. And I don't think I need to explain that to any of you. And Layne calls me and, did you get the package? And of course, we connect on the conversation and congratulate him on the band coming out, and I hope they get fucking huge. Although I don't think Layne was cut out from fame. He was just a boy from Bellevue who loved music. But either way, Layne and I decided, look, we wanted time together to hang out and just shoot the shit and have some fun. So, it was spring of 1991. I think it was around March or April. I go up to Seattle, and Layne and I connect. And that first night I'm there, Layne picks me up from the hotel I'm in, and, I get downstairs because he's calling my room, and he's like, dude, where the fuck are you? And so I get in this shitty little box car thing he's driving around, and he starts rifling in this box in the back seat and, looking for tapes. And he pulls out a couple and he shoves one in between his legs, and we start driving around Seattle. And he says, man, the ultimate goal for all us bands up here is one place, man, just one fucking place. He goes, the Moor. Well, I've never heard of the Moor. I'm from Maine. I've gone to see some bands here and there, but nothing major. And so he pulls up in front of the Moor, and, he grabs that tape from between his legs and he shoves it in the cassette deck and hits rewind. And it was Mother Love Bone. And he cranks that shit up, and the windows are rattling, and could have probably heard this shit from a mile away, but it was cool. But he tipped his head back and closed his eyes, and he was just letting it wash over him. And I wasn't. I just didn't get what the fuck he was doing. What is this? It's just music coming out of speakers, but for him it wasn't. He got pissed at me because I wasn't feeling it like he was. And he said to me, dude, look, Andy's telling you a story. Listen to the words, but don't just listen to him. Feel him. Let him in. And it took numerous tries of him rewinding this tape and getting irritated with me. But something along the way finally hit, going all the way back to the very beginning of the album Road to Shangri-La. And Andy talking about all these places he wanted to play, and how he wanted to be a big rock star and take the fucking world over. And I kind of got it finally. I was hearing this guy tell his story, and it made sense. And it changed the way I looked at music. And Layne said, see, that's what I'm talking about. Songs like Bone China, and, this album, man, I'm telling you, if you haven't heard it, well, it's a bitch to find, first off. But stream it even if you have to. It's a great album with a total sense of being. But Layne changed the way I looked at music. He started turning me on to bands like Mudhoney and Green River and Soundgarden. And it changed my path because, like I said, I didn't have a genre that really defined me as a human being. I just liked music. Now at the age of 52, I have a fond appreciation for bands like Mother Love Bone because, much like people like Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen and even Johnny Cash, who were all storytellers, they were songwriters, grunge brought that to the forefront. It was loud, but it was storytelling. Layne's wittiness went from wittiness to introspection when it came to music. And he fed me tons of bands, and I did the same for him. And the late night talks and cruising around, just hanging out, shooting the shit, or even drinking and laughing and, trying to avoid getting arrested. I can't thank Layne enough wherever you are, man. Just know I miss you and I love you. Thanks for filling my life and my heart with sound and joy. For all of you out there, I would love to hear you comment on albums that did this for you. What was an album that really cemented your love for music and made you maybe a better human being? Maybe it fed you emotionally, mentally, whatever it did for you. Let's have a conversation down below. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back and checking this out. And until next time, just keep spinning.